Embracing digital efficiency is key to unlocking Nigeria's full potential and ensuring sustainable development for future generations. By implementing digital solutions across sectors, we can reduce operational costs, improve service delivery, and create new opportunities for businesses and individuals. On the program this week, we will be speaking with Jennifer Adige, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Entrepreneurship in Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. Her work is crucial in creating opportunities to thrive in a rapidly evolving digital world. And in this interview, we will discuss how Nigeria's digital economy has evolved under the current administration. Tell me, how has the digital economy landscape evolved under the current administration?
Okay, let me start by defining what the digital economy really is, for the purpose of clarity for those who don't know, because I get to be asked, by people, what really is the digital economy? So the digital economy is a segment of the main economy that is driven and powered by digital technologies. Now, so just like you have the blue economy or the green economy, we're all subsets of the entire economy. And so let me take you back to the previous administration as our baseline. The former Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Professor Malam Pantami, he created a digital economy strategy and policy roadmap. And then into this administration, the current Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosu Tijani, has reviewed that document and updated that document. And so if you take a look at that roadmap, central to that document, is all about positioning. It's all about how we can be better positioned to drive positive growth in the digital economy and by extension, growing the larger economy. So for instance, in 2019, if you look at the GDP contributions across the critical sectors, the ICT sector contributed to about 13% to our GDP. In 2019, that rose from 13% to about 17%. And I'm very optimistic that in 2024, we'll be contributing significantly more. So yes, so that the digital economy is that segment of the economy that is powered by two factors: technology, one, and then the human capital, that we are growing and grooming to drive that economy for sustainable growth.
Now, you've spoken about the impact on, economic growth, but what about its impact on job creation?
So the government is being very intentional, I'm sure you know, and very deliberate about coming up with programs that would enable our digital natives by providing and empowering them with the relevant skills that are in demand, because the economy can only grow as fast and as far as the skills that we have developed to drive it. And so in doing that, we're even training them and empowering them to see beyond job seeking. We're training them to be self-sustaining wealth creators and job creators.
Now tell me about some of the programs you've been working on, to bridge the digital gender gap as well, especially in underserved communities.
Okay, so upon assumption of office, when I was appointed sometime in September last year, I spent the first couple of weeks getting a deeper understanding of the nuances of the digital ecosystem. And then in doing that, I set out to do a gaps analysis or a gaps assessment, so that I can come up with solutions, for addressing prominent gaps. So let me start by commending the Honorable Minister, Dr. Bosu Tijani, because one of the novel initiatives and early initiatives of his administration was to roll out the 3MTT program, which is the 3 Million Tech Talent Program. And the aim of that program is to build a pool of digital assets that we can leverage to drive this digital economy. And so studying that program, I identified some limiting factors, which, primarily related to access. So, which is why I came up with a program called the Digitally Fit Nigeria Project. The Digitally Fit Nigeria Project is one of my programs, pet projects. And what I hope to achieve with that is to foster digital inclusion by bridging access gaps for the digitally vulnerable in underserved communities. So we deploy modular tech labs that are solar powered, air conditioned, and provided with, state of the art computers and internet access for upskilling, so that they have access to e-learning resources, and then we can actually nurture their talents because they have access now to digital skills acquisition in a co-creation workspace where they can amplify their talents and ultimately commercialize and monetize their talents.
Okay, let's still stick with your programs, for now. You have been organizing the MSME Stakeholders Engagement Series, right? You've had, one in Abuja. You've also had another one in Lagos, and I'm pretty sure there's another one coming in a different state as well. That is, for women-led enterprises. Why the focus on women, and, what are you aiming to achieve with the program?
Okay, so the MSME Engagement Series, the focus is actually digital and financial literacy for women-led enterprises. However, one of the characteristics of every good government lies or rests upon the quality of the engagements between the government and the governed. So as part of my presidential deliverables, I'm supposed to periodically hold engagement series. And so the MSME Engagement Series is the platform whereby we can connect the small business owners and the relevant government stakeholders in conversations and discussions around subjects of mutual interest, which are typically access to financing, access to markets, the duplicity of levies and taxes. The issues are very generic across board. So it's a platform for getting us to talk and for information dissemination, and for them to unlock and unbox the challenges that they are facing while we explore opportunities together for driving sustainable growth in the MSME space.
Through those series, the engagement series, you've been able to realize that navigating regulations and, access to funding are like two major challenges that startups and small businesses face.
Absolutely.
How are you providing support for them in that regard?
Yeah, so with the MSME Engagement Series, I'm doing a lot of sensitization. I'm doing a lot of advocacy. Are there opportunities for funding out there? Yes, there are. Do the people know? Not much. So we're doing a lot of information dissemination. And the truth is that the government is actually doing a whole lot. We're working behind the scenes to ensure that we unlock funding for small business owners and for startups. And it's not just about access to funding, but how affordable is the funding, all right? And then there's so many incentives as well that the government is rolling out. I'm sure you must have heard about the Aide program, which will be starting very soon. And you can imagine the monumental impact that would have on the digital and creative a sector. Then we also know that Mr. President has magnanimously earmarked the sum of 200 billion for stimulating the enterprise space. 75 billion for the manufacturers, and that's 75 billion for small businesses, and then 50 billion as conditional grants, which are already being rolled out. So this is expected to bring about some succor and some relief in helping small business owners to reposition their businesses for growth and to continue to bolster productivity in the MSME space.
With the rapid pace of technological change, right, how is the government ensuring that policies remain agile and responsive to emerging trends?
The truth is that what are the essence of policies generally? So a policy is supposed to trigger a reform that would improve the livelihood of the citizens. And policies are subject to iteration, which means that they can always be adjusted. And so what that means is that as trends, evolve, as new technologies emerge, those policies can be tweaked, so to speak, and adjusted. And the government is being very proactive in ensuring that we have the right policies that would guide the activities in the digital ecosystem.
Now, with what you're doing, right, are there collaborations with the private sector or the academia, to foster innovation?
Definitely, yes. So we seek, I constantly seek collaborations with private sector entities, development partners, and donors. The job or the task of digital inclusion or digital transformation, it's not left for the government alone, right? It's a collaborative effort, and we need to work. We can't work in silos. We need to work in cohesion to drive the vision forward, for a better Nigeria for our young people, for all of us.
Now, looking ahead, right, what are the opportunities you foresee, in our country's digital economy, and what's our preparation level for them?
Tech innovation is not an event, it's a process. And we've been at it for a while. If you look at the Indian case study, right? So where we are today is where India was 15 years ago. And you can clearly see how their digital transformation plan has transformed their economic outlook. So the opportunities abound, the opportunities are limitless, and which is why we're being very intentional about empowering our digital natives who happen to be our digital assets and the assets that we would leverage to drive positive growth, for tomorrow. So what we're doing is we're cultivating them, so that we can get them to export their talents, so that we can get them to optimize their outputs and for driving growth and sustainable socio-economic development. So the opportunities are limitless, and we're very well positioned to unlock those opportunities.
Well, we certainly both agree that there's so much potential in Nigeria's tech sector. It was definitely a pleasure having you on the program, Jennifer DJ, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Entrepreneurship in Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy.
Thank you so much, Yemi. Always my pleasure. Thank you.